Hey everybody, welcome to Super Arcade Theatre. I'm Jay as always, and today we have a very special video for you as I'm over here in Eurogamer, the EGX up in Birmingham, playing all the latest games that are going to be coming out the rest of this year and Q1, Q2 of next year. So while I was up here, I figured I'd put a couple of impressions together about what I've seen, what I've experienced. So anyone who hasn't had a chance to come up and try this stuff might have a better idea of what it's like. First things first, I will say my microphone has kind of shit the bed a little bit, so the audio quality might not be the best here, and I'm just gonna lay this over a gameplay of whatever. I don't even know what I'm gonna put it over yet, so it'll be a surprise for me as well, just so you have something to look at while you listen to my my prattlings. Okay, so the main focus of this video, I'm gonna do a couple, I think, one or two different bits. The main focus of this video is actually going to be all the VR stuff, virtual reality headset type stuff that I saw there, that I experienced. I got to sign up for Eurogamer. I managed to get in for the HTC Vive and the Morpheus, or I suppose the device formerly known as Morpheus, because now it's the PlayStation VR. And yeah, I managed to do both of those in one day, so I've got a pretty good comparison for the two, I think. Okay, so first up, the Morpheus, the VR formerly known as Morpheus, the PlayStation VR itself. I queued up and I had a chance only to play the one demo, unfortunately. They did have two on the go. There was the Capcom game, tech demo called Kitchen, which is what I got to play, and they had some sort of getaway sort of style first-person shooter thing on the other screen. We could see that when playing, so I actually got to watch that at least. The way that worked was they put the headset on, gave the person two move controllers, and then the person could freely manipulate an Uzi. He was spraying down fools left and right from a car, and I noticed he could use one of the move controllers to just pinch and open the glove compartment, pull out some extra magazines, and you have to manually stick those cartridges in or whatever. I don't think they call it ammo cartridges. I don't think that's right, is it? I think that's right. Magazines. Yeah, that's the one. Ammo magazines. So yeah, as I say, the demo I got to play was the tech demo Capcom put together called Kitchen. I was given the headset, but that had headphones on, and was given a PlayStation 4 controller, and told that I could just sort of move it back and forth. It would track the anyone who's used the sort of the VR tracking, not VR tracking, the light tracking with a PlayStation Vision camera. Will know the type of control you have with the PlayStation controller there with its motion control stuff. So I had that, and I was holding on to that. I had this VR helmet on my face, I had these earphones in, and the demo starts up, and you're in this ramshackled, shitty-ass room with a camera right in your face. It's obviously old, abandoned, everything is ragged as shit. It looks gnarly in a really good way. And you can see some movement off to your left, and it's actually a dude bound, I think. Oh no, he's not bound, no, he's just on the floor in a heap, rocking back and forth. And then you're looking around, naturally you just sort of look around, and one of the first things you do obviously is you look down, because that's sort of, I feel like that's the first thing anyone does when they get VR stuff. It's like, what do I look like? What can I see? So you look down and you see your hands tied together, which is a really weird sort of sight to see. And then obviously you move the controller, and those arms are moving, so you holding on to the controller is in some ways sort of making your mind feel like your hands are bound, like they are on the screen, which is awesome. Well, I mean, it's terrifying, but it's awesome. So you're sort of, you're rocking your hands back and forth. You naturally sort of push your hands out, or at least I did, and you knock over the camera that's up in your face, trying to free your hands, and that gets the attention of the dude on the floor, who gets up and he's, oh god man, we gotta get out of here, kind of thing, and he looks around, He's looking everywhere, and then he picks up a knife, and he comes towards you with this knife to try and cut the binds off your arms. And as he's sewing back and forth, you can kind of see the knife coming in and out towards you, and you're kind of, well, I was anyway, I was ducking away, kind of away from the knife, because I don't want that dude to stab me, you know? So he was just sort of sewing through, and he was fucking it up, and then, you know, I'm looking down at the hands, and then I look back up, and there behind him was this sort of Ringu style figure woman, hair down across her face, malnourished and grey, just behind him, and I was screaming, dude, look behind you, dude, look the fuck behind you, not, you know, forgetting that I've got this thing on my face, and this isn't actually, you know, I'm not helping in any way here, but yeah, and then it fucking takes him down on the floor and starts, like, attacking him, and you can't move, you're still bound to this chair, your hands are still tied, and there's nothing you can do. I was looking back and forth, looking around for anything, and when I looked back, I could just see the creature woman drag him around the corner, and then it was just silence and just nothing for like a good 20-30 seconds, just like nothing. I was looking around frantically, what am I supposed to be doing here? And then I heard a sort of a gargling noise, like a kind of, and then all of a sudden, the dude's head rolls around the corner to my feet. So I'm looking down at this dude's head, and then you sort of see a flash past you, you know, like a figure has just run past you, and you're looking around everywhere, like, what was that? Where is that? And you've got the headphones on, and you hear sort of like growls around you, and you're looking all around, and then all of a sudden this figure is just up in your face. It's just there with the knife, like slowly pushing it further and further towards you, and you're backing up. And like, I mean, it's detecting that you're backing up, and you know your character is leaning back in his chair as this knife is obviously getting closer and closer to your face. And then she just disappears. And again, then you're left in this sort of, you know, this void, this emptiness, and you're like, what the fuck? And then. To end the demo, she wraps her hands around your face, and I looked up, and there she was, like fucking a thing out of hell, just staring me down, and then she killed me. And that was the end of the demo, and I screamed like a little girl. And yeah, that was fun. A couple of people that went on before me didn't really react to it that much. From what I could tell, they didn't really look around a lot. They didn't really get the full sort of scope of it. Plus, I'm a big pussy, and I startle really easy like a baby deer. So I think it took a full toll on me. As I removed the headphones, I could hear everyone around me laughing, and the guy who was demoing it with me seemed to be having a good time. And I was a bit shook up. I mean, it's like, honestly, I've only had one or two VR experiences. One really, which was last year game where I played War Thunder, the plane flying game, and it was, you know, it was cool to look around and all that, but it wasn't especially compelling or, you know, immersive or anything like that. But yeah, I came away from this demo kind of just shaking, like in a good way. I had a lot of fun with it. I really like scary games, even if I can't take them very well. That's all kind of part of the fun, I guess. But it took me about 10-15 minutes to sort of put together in my head what I should probably do next, you know? But yeah, it was a great experience. The headset feels great, it's light, it's comfortable, and it looks really cool with all those lights on it and everything, and I'm really impressed by it. I will say the demo looked a little jaggy, like, you know, you could see some jaggies. You want to go with the old slang. But you know, it's a tech demo. You can't really be sure how it's going to be. But it, you know, the display looked fine. It looked cool. It looked great. So yeah, overall, the Morpheus or the PlayStation VR, very much excited to see where that goes, and I'm very, very glad I got to experience it in this Eurogamer. Next up, a couple hours later, I got to go on the HTC Vive. That's right? Vive? Yeah, Vive, that's the one. which is, I think it's got some partnership with Steam. I can't tell you off the top of my head. But yeah, I went to the demo booth. I was whisked away into a room. There was a bunch of rooms with black doors there. We go into the different rooms, and wow, when we opened the door, I was quite surprised because it was quite a large room, just like a large black sort of foam room with nothing there really except the headset in the middle and the two controllers, the motion controllers or wands or whatever you want to call them. And the fella there walked me through the process of equipping everything, putting on the headset and the earphones like I did with the Morpheus, and give me the wand. And then I could see, as soon as I put the headset on, I was in a sort of a room with a bunch of floating square advertisements telling me who worked on all of the different demos. And when I looked down, I could see the wands floating around. Obviously, the VR was tracking those. So yeah, the first demo then I got to play. Let me think. Oh, of course, right. So the first demo that I got to play, everything went black, and then when the lights, if you want to call them that, came back on, I was under the ocean on a sunken ship. Way deep down, and there's fish all around and that type of stuff. And I was free to just sort of walk all around this room that I was in, that they put all the demo units in, to just walk around with this thing on my head, which was super impressive. For the kitchen demo, I was sat in a seat the whole time, and obviously that was the intent for it. But for this, it was to show the absolute freedom that thing has. Because I was just walking around. If you went too far, like if you went right up to the barriers, there would be a sort of a blue mesh that you might see in some actual video games when you try and go outside the areas they don't want you to go out of. But for the most part, I could walk all along the deck. I could look over the railings down into the depths where there was more screwed up boat parts and more fish around. I could look up and there were giant stingrays going overhead and all of this type of stuff, and it was all very nice. And then this whale appeared in the background, and it sort of slowly swum towards the ship that I was on, and it came right up alongside the ship. It came, and my good God, I don't even know if I can put into words how incredible it was, because just the sense of scale that you got from this giant creature all up in your face, and you could go right up to it as it was swimming past. Like, I was right up in that thing's eye. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I think, out of everything that I did, that was the most impressive thing. Even thinking about it now. I was on my own doing it. I was on my own up there. And I was really pissed off because I couldn't just gush over it with someone just immediately. I just needed to. But yeah, as it was going over, this giant fin swings over you, and obviously you don't have to duck. It's a video game. What the hell's gonna happen? But I naturally ducked under it, and oh God, and yeah, and that was basically the end of that demo. But I'm not making it sound especially great, but I feel like that's the perfect thing to show to someone, to say, look, this is what the VR experience is. I mean, it's not the most imaginative thing, but in terms of getting out there, what it feels like to see something this crazy, to sort of experience it, that's perfect. That's incredible. After that, it kind of, we took it down a little bit from that super exciting thing, and I played what could be more seen as a game, I guess, really. So I was a sort of a giant man on this small island that had a bunch of plane runways all over the place and the like. And basically, all you had to do, these little planes were flying around, and what you would do is you would reach up with your controller, your wand, and you would grip the controller, because there's a trigger button and a pressure sensitive button on the top, so you'd grip it like you would, a normal thing that one would grip, and grip the plane and then just draw a line basically down through a gate onto the runway. That's all it was to that one, really, for the most part. There was a bit with where you had to go from a plane to a helicopter, and then there was a couple of like little mini games throughout. Then there was one that I liked a lot. Was there were seagulls all over the landing strip. So it shrinks you down to the size of, you know, all the planes and stuff that are landing, and your wand controller then all of a sudden turns into a air horn. So you just need to scare away the seagulls by blasting them, you know, pointing it in the right direction, leaning in with it, and all that type of stuff. And then there was another one where one of the planes is on fire, and you had to use the controller again as a hose pipe, just spraying things down. So that was cool. One of the things that was quite neat about it, though, so the water hose and the air horn type of things, those are on the right-hand controller. You use that mostly for selecting. The other hand brought up a menu if you clicked one of the triggers, but the menu, you would actually use the other hand then, the other hand's controller, to reach over and touch the button on the menu that you brought up with the other hand, which was kind of cool. But, you know, there wasn't a lot to that demo, even if it was quite neat. The next thing was, again, quite a simple little game, really. It was just an editor, not an editor, that's not right. It was a drawing thing. You could draw things in 3D, which was really cool. I mean, it looked really neat. You would draw the things and it would be all around you. It's not a lot to say about it, really. You could do different effects, writing fire, like spray stars everywhere, draw rainbows, and that type of stuff. You know, it was fine. You would use one controller again, like in the demo for the plane game. You would lost my train of thought. You would open up a menu with your left hand, and then you would select the stuff on the menu with your right. That lost track a little bit now and again, but like it worked fine, I guess. Like, I like drawing things, but I wouldn't go to this type of device to draw things like that. But it seems like if that was a program that came with the wand and the headset, then, you know, it would be a good showcase for what you could do with this type of VR stuff. But yeah, that's the basics of that. I wrote my name in fire and then underlined it with a rainbow, so that was kind of cool. I don't know. The final demo, technical thing, whatever, that I got to play around with was themed around the Valve game Portal. I was just plopped down in a room, and apparently I was in charge of like repairing things, from what I could get the gist of. I had a robotic voice instructing me to do various things, so it told me, you know, go over there and open this drawer. So I had to wander across the room again, because this was like a full-on 3D space that I was literally moving around in, like just by physically moving now, no controller movement or anything like that. It was tracking me. I had to move onto the other side of the wall and open these drawers using the controllers to pinch, to aim in 3D space where the handle would be, pinch and pull the drawers open. I opened 3 drawers, 2 of which apparently were wrong, and there was a piece of mouldy ass cake in one of them. So, you know, you've got your cake joke in there for the Portal fans. The third one apparently was like a micro universe or something like that, which I then had to close the drawer so they could all be incinerated. So yeah, I guess I killed an entire new civilization of tiny stick men. And then, you know, I wandered around the room a bit more, and it told me to go to the other side of the room now and pull a lever to open up elevator doors. So I did that, and they burst open, and I can't remember their names now. I think it is Peabody, and I can't remember the other one's name. Maybe Peabody and Atlas from Portal 2, the co-op controlled robots that you would play in co-op. They were there just sort of chilling, and the round one, well, I'm going to call Atlas, I'm not 100% sure on that. Came in, and he sort of like falls in practically, and he's got sparks flying off him all over the place as he stumbles in clumsily. I sort of like jumped out of the way of him, because he almost walked into me. Because, you know, it feels like this thing is going to bump smack into you, but, you know, he's obviously not. He's not there. And then a robotic voice instructs you to, you know, repair the robot because he's in need of repairs. And you sort of, you know, you fiddle around with a couple of different levers on him, and then eventually it opens up his chassis, and then you can drag. You click on the front of the chassis and drag it out with the controller again. You know, doing that pinching motion, you drag it out so it's you know, all of the components are laid out there in midair, just there for you to be able to manipulate. And it tells you to like hit the repair button. So you hit the repair button. It sounds simple enough. You do that, it's fine. And then all of a sudden it starts spewing 100 different like next steps at you. They're all gobbledygook. And like all a load of crap, because you're clicking all of these things, you're looking around. It's like, where, what do you want me to do? What? But then it says, you know, take your time. But then it says, take your time, 15 seconds remaining. So then you're like panicking and like you're spinning all of these components around, looking about. And then the counter goes down, and then Peabody's his face just explodes. So you know that's cool. Not Peabody, Atlas. His face is in 1,000 bits on the floor. And the robotic voice informs you that you won't be responsible for fixing robots anymore, which is probably fair enough. You kind of fucked that royal. So yeah, and then the floor panels all just fall away from below you. So you know you scoot up against the wall, and it removes all of the all of the shattered remains of the robot and just lets them fall down. And then you hear a familiar voice. GLaDOS is berating you and like saying, "Oh, why can't you do this type of stuff right?" and all of that. Like, what kind of robot can't do these tasks? I think she says something like that. As like the panels all get removed from this box that you are in, and this ginormous lump of a thing, GLaDOS, just sort of descends down and is there in your face. And as you're looking around, you can see sort of like the open sort of factory looking areas that you saw in Portal 2 that just stretches as far as you can see as you stand on a platform just like above a pit of doom. But you can go up to the edge of the platform and look down and everything, and it's all fully rendered down there, and it's tracking you perfect while it does it. And then you know she carries on just taking the piss out of you for a little bit. And yeah, that's kind of the end of the demo there too, really. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. More panels open up, and then a big spiky thing comes down and squishes you. That's the end of the demo. Yeah, so that's all of the demos. I think. I feel like there might have been one that I'm missing, but I'm not quite sure. There was one other tiny sort of thing. Maybe it's what I was trying to think of. While you're in the menu that I first talked about with all of the squares advertising, you know, who did what, you can hold down the button on, or, you know, the trigger and the button on your control wands, and you can inflate balloons. And then you let go of the buttons and the balloons will float, and you can use your hands then to just bump the balloons all over the place as they float away. Just a dumb little thing, but I enjoyed, you know. It's fun playing with balloons. Okay, so the HTC Vive. Vive? Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, again, it felt great. I feel like the PlayStation VR felt a little comfier, but out of the two, the Vive was way sharper, I will say. The image was very much sharper. And it just... The demos that they showed were absolutely fantastic. They really give you an idea of where this VR malarkey could go, you know? So, yeah. Just wow. Again, I had no one to talk about it with at the time, so I just went and I stood in a queue for Star Fox after that, I think. I just sort of stared off into space, lustfully just thinking about my experience with that giant whale, you know? And yeah, I guess I'm still kind of thinking about that whale. Seriously though, that whale, oh my god you guys, that fucking whale! Oh! It was beautiful. Oh. It's majestic. 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 Okay, I'm rambling here. So, yeah, that was the HTC Vive. Okay, so that's gonna do it for what I saw VR-wise in Eurogamer this year. As I say, I only saw those. They had some Oculus stuff there, but it was mostly on like Elite Dangerous, and I think there was a Vive out and about that you could use for something, but there wasn't any. They weren't doing the big demos like what I talked about here. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you heard here, if you like my random rambling in a Welshy way, then why not give us a like or a subscribe or any of that good stuff? Because I'm going to be talking about more of what I've seen. I've been here for 2 days now, and I'm going to be here for another day tomorrow. So I've got plenty of stuff to talk about. So if you want to hear about it, then yeah, subscribe. As I said, subscribe, pretty please. And until then, I guess, until tomorrow, hopefully. Ending quip? I don't know how to end videos. Bye!